Welcome back, everyone. So, with, as of recording, the Chicago Regional being this weekend, good luck to everyone that's at the Chicago Regional. I thought I would just take a chance to go over some fun and interesting deck ideas that I've been toying around with lately. I know I've been doing more of like the Take Twos, which are more competitive versions of the Godzilla Reign of Kaiju characters. I've been diving into some more competitive retro stuff, and I know everyone's going to be spending this weekend being pretty sweaty. And I know LCs have been kind of sweaty too, so I thought I'd take a chance to kind of bring the temperature down a little bit and say, hey, take a look at some of these fun, maybe good, but definitely fun deck ideas that I've been toying around with. Most of these I've actually built and play tested a bit. Some of them I have not had a chance to build yet because cards are in the mail. But yeah, I thought I'd give you guys a look at some of the decks that I've been toying around with and just see if you guys want to have some fun with them. So, I'm not going to be going into as much detail with each of these because there's like 7 of them here. So I'm not going to go card by card like I normally do for deck profiles, but I will provide links of all 7 of these decks in the description below. Please, future me, remind me to do that. And if future me did not remember to do that, check the description below, then comment down below that future me forgot, so that future me can then get on top of that. So, starting off, I'm going with Younger Toguro. This guy was a meta menace last year, I'd say. Definitely the first few regionals he was legal. In fact, he's now errated, so that his enhance now costs you a committing a foundation. So he's got the response once per turn. After your attack resolves, build it face down. If you're then your rival builds the top card of their deck. So they get a face down foundation, you get a face down foundation. Then we have enhance. Your attack is enhance commit 1 foundation. Your attack gets plus X damage. X equals half the number of foundations in your stage rounded down. And he's got all death evil with a 6 hand size and 32 health. This dude wants to build a huge stage and kind of say deadlock be damned and just haymaker people. Also, he can push your rival into deadlock. And kind of what made me want to play Younger Toguro were 2 attacks from Reign of Kaiju that you can see here. We got Mechanical Legion, which is the rare that you can include 8 copies of, or 6 copies of, excuse me. And I don't know why I always think it's 8. I think because Ectoplasm Clones was 8. But it gets -1 difficulty for each copy you've played, or each time you've played a copy of it. So you play it on a 6, you echo it, play it on a 5, whatever. And as a blitz, it can get +1 damage for each of your rival's foundations, maximum 8. So you push them into having 8 foundations, that's 8 damage right there. And then if you've got 8 foundations, that's an extra 4 damage. So 5 mid 12 ain't bad. It can echo itself, so you play it on a 6, then you play it on a 5, and then after it resolves and you would flip it face down, you can Younger Toguro build it down, and then play another Mechanical Legion on a 4. So that was kind of the deal here with this and Triple Beam, which gets 1 damage for each foundation in your rival's stage, and again, then damage equal to half of your foundations. I thought having these kind of attacks, where they can just output a whole bunch of damage, would be really cool to try to put together. I built this on death because we get Shin Godzilla Arrives, and I can just snap this to my momentum automatically, and these symbols really lack a lot of momentum generation. I think I was missing a bunch of this when I initially built it in person, so I built him off Evil with Hiding in Plain Sight, I believe it is, the rando card that says enhance, add it to your momentum. If your rival is at less than half their printed health, add another card to your momentum from the top of your deck. But mainly it's here to put just a lot of damage on cards like Pale Rider, Triple Beam, Mechanical Legion. Trace Eyes can echo itself without having to spend a momentum. So you do have to sacrifice a face-up foundation, a ready foundation, excuse me. But at the end of a string, if you've been like Mechanical Legion, spend a momentum to Echo, Mechanical Legion, build it down, play a triple beam, play a Pale Rider, kick the triple beam to Echo Pale Rider, and then Echo play Trace Eyes, Echo Trace Eyes, you can put a lot of damage and a lot of pressure on your rival with just these ways to clear your own echoes, or echoes that don't need momentum in order to use them. And it could potentially, I don't know if it could put Younger Toguro back on the map, but free echoes is huge. And if you can get 2 Mechanical Legions and 2 momentum, you can just be like, cool, on a 6, on a 5, yeah, build it in, on a 4, on a 3, and then if you have a Trace Eyes, that's on a 5, on a 5, and that's 2, 4, 6 attacks out of 3, and you've only spent 2 momentum. And if you had to commit any foundations, you can commit cards like Battle Holds the Answer, which puts a 6 on top of your deck during your turn. Weapons Clash can build you more foundations. Yeah, this is just, you could imagine picking up a flipped Mechanical Legion with a military airship and then just playing it again. This dude can still output a whole ton of damage, and just the right turn can melt people. So yeah, I thought this was a really fun idea, and I did have fun playing it on Evil, but I think now that I have all my Trace Eyes, and my Shin Godzilla arrives, because I only had one of those, I had to buy some more, but now that I have all my Shin Godzilla arrives, I think I can play this on Death and really get this party started. Our next character, I did not see what order these are in, is Annie Lionheart. So some of my locals and I were thinking, how do you make Humanity Fights On as cheap as possible? You play a character that plays a whole load of infinity backups. And because she can commit, well, let's go over Annie. 7 hand size, 21 health character, Titan and Warrior traits. As a static, when committing cards to pass a check, you may commit 1 backup as though it were a foundation. Enhance your attack, sacrifice 1 backup or foundation, add the top card of your deck to your momentum. If you have 3 or more momentum, transform Annie Lionheart Awakened. And when you're transformed, you're still a 721, you can still commit 1 backup as though it were a foundation when passing checks. But as another static, if you have at least 2 backups, your attacks get 2 speed. And enhance, spend 1 momentum. This attack gets +3 or -3 damage. Your next check gets +2. So this is a great way. You've got your high guard and low guard. You've got a whole bunch of infinity foundations. And then you've got a whole bunch of stuff that, like, can, you know, add to your momentum. This Rivals in Battle readies when you add a momentum. Finally free. You can use Immense Showdown to add cards to the bottom of your deck, or just in Deadlock, if your Rivals in Deadlock, pick up any card. What I really like here in this deck, though, because yeah, you're aiming for the Humanity Fights On, be as cheap as possible, make it like a 7 low for 7 with its Blitz, but it's got Powerful 3. And Annie stocks her own momentum. So if you can just play this even on like a 5, and just say, hey, on a 5, I've got 3 momentum. This is now a 7 low for 16, not including if I have a Theo, so when I spend my momentum, I get another 2 damage. Or if I have Combat Submarine, that's another 4 damage if I have 7 or more Infinity cards in my stage. It's great. But you can actually use Emerge Victorious as a Blitz, sacrifice a backup. If you did, reveal cards from the top of your deck until you reveal a Shift Titan attack or a Titan backup. Then you, if you revealed a Titan backup, you get to build it. If you revealed a Titan Shift attack, build it transformed, and you put the rest of the cards on bottom of the deck. The only Titan backup or Shift attack we play is Colossus Titan attacks. So imagine, turn 1, you build a Jaegerist follower and a whole bunch of Infinity cards. I'm going to, on turn 2, Emerge Victorious, sacrifice this Jaegerist follower, I get to build Colossus Titan for free. As my next form, I can commit and lose 6 stamina from Colossus Titan. You have to flip 2 foundations and discard 2 cards from your hand. Hey, guess what? That means you're wide open for my Humanity Fights On or my Harness Undeaths, 2 really powerful, potent key kill cards for Annie, because they want you to use the momentum, and they both work really good with all of these Infinity backups. And you have cards like Strategy Meeting to draw cards. Like I said, Finally Free gets you more momentum so you can transform faster. Fearsome Transformations is just a good draw. This is like you want a really aggressive, like, 7-hander. I'm gonna grab a bunch of momentum and just shower you with damage. Imagine going Emerge Victorious into a Humanity Fights On that's really cheap, and then a Harness Undeath. Or even Emerge Victorious, get the Colossal Titan attacks, rip 2 cards from their hand, Harness Undeath, Echo Harness Undeath, and then each time it hits, burn your rival for the number of backups in your discard pile, and then end with the Humanity Fights On with the remainder of your momentum. It's just absolutely brutal. And you only have like 8 3 checks in the deck, so you can build out pretty consistently on turn 1, I would say. Yeah, I have not built this one yet because I just got the rest of my Humanity Fights Ons in the mail. But this is definitely an aggressive deck that I really am interested in playing. I love the Humanity Fights On Harness Undeath kind of consistency. Yeah, it's kind of momentum hungry, but if you can just make the Harness Undeaths connect, you don't need that much momentum for the Humanity Fights On, because you'll probably have 8 or 9 backups in your discard pile if you're lucky, and each time you hit, you're burning for that much. And Titan of Terror only has 28 health, so you could probably melt Titan of Terror real quick if you can get the jump on them here. Our next character is Smiling Titan. So this is kind of another Humanity Fights On deck that I was talking with my friend, one of my locals, about. He's a big fan of Smiling Titan, mainly because I showed him to play the Rumbling with it. Rumbling is 11 difficulty. Oh, forgot to go over the character. Smiling Titan, 6 hand size, 31 health, Titan keyword, death and life. As a Tenacious Enhance, playable while Smiling Titan is committed. Your attack gets plus X speed or plus X damage. X equals the attack's printed difficulty minus 4. And then response once per turn after an attack deals 6 or more damage. Ready this character. So Rumbling can get 7 speed or damage. It's got stun 3, so your rival will have to commit 3 foundations as an enhance, but as a blitz, your rival has to either discard 3 cards or sacrifice all of their foundations. If they have less than 3 cards in their hand, they have to lose all the cards in their hand. So you play this, tap a whole bunch of cards, say, hey, you're either giving up all your foundations, and then you're taking 17, because I get the plus 7 damage, or you're losing all the cards in your hand, and then you're taking 17. But what's really cool is you have Humanity Fights On, which can get plus 9 speeder damage. In addition to, you have cards like Sean Gilmore, you've got a whole bunch of the Infinity Foundations, Frantic Rescue, not Frantic Rescue, but a Moment of Normalcy, all of these Zero Diffs, which help you build out fast. Attack Titan's Artillery is a Infinity card. If we can play the Attack Titan Colossus Titan attacks, we can get plus 6 damage on this throw that then gets us 2 momentum to spend on Humanity Fights On. But as a backup, if it shifts, it also counts as an Infinity card. And we get Cabin Hideout. So this is a card that sees no play, but it's a card that I've actually been looking a lot into lately for various abilities. This is just form, get a foundation. Form, build 1 card from your hand face down. Cool, I'll build this foundation that I was going to have to build at the end of the turn, at the beginning of the turn. And it counts as an infinity card, so Humanity Fights On is lower difficulty. And playing all these high difficulty attacks, I want to have more foundations earlier on. Plus, it's a good one low block, which is really neat. And then the rest of our foundation base is kind of just geared towards survival. We have Last Second Rescue, which we can use to basically survive any hit that doesn't kill us. Would just go back to the health that we were at after it hit. Invincible Body drops something to 0. Frantic Rescue, if we take direct damage, if we just take an unblocked attack, it basically breakers all of our rivals' attacks for the rest of the turn. They all get +1 difficulty. And then we can use Setting the Stage, if we take damage from an unblocked attack, to pick up any of our any of our attacks that we're running from our discard pile. So we could pick up a Rumbling and say, hey, if you don't kill me this turn, danger. Which kind of helps when you have such a small attack lineup. We only have 16 attacks in this 70 card list, I think. But it's really a more mid-range deck, and having built a couple Smiling Titans for my local before, I know just how oppressive it can be. And let me tell you, this one can absolutely do the damage. This one can absolutely just punch people, because like Sean Gilmore can give you +2 to your next check, which is nice. Cabin Hideout gives you +1 to your stage at the beginning of the turn. Yeah, and the rest of your stuff is just built around surviving until you can be like, oh, I'm going to Rumble and then Humanity Fights On. Or I'm going to Colossus Titan attacks into Humanity Fights On. Or even like double Ravages of War. If I have Anti-Titan Artillery and 2 Ravages of War, cool, here's 2 8 high for 13s. It's 26 damage. Catch. But it's really cool. I can't wait to build this one. Again, I finally have all my Humanity Fights On. I think this is going to be a very gross, just wild haymaker of a deck. So yeah, I think Justin Birch would be proud. Onward to deck number 4, we have my Mothra deck. So I think a lot of people are sleeping on Mothra. And I know me and Brett from UK Versus have been having this argument. I think this character is rude. So Mothra Divine Moth is a 7 hand size 20 health character. Air, good, and order with the giant and monster traits. As a tenacious response, or playable while Mothra is committed, after an attack is blocked, the next attack this turn gets +3 or -2 speed. So either turn, I can boost the speed of the next attack or reduce the speed of the next attack. And during my rival's turn, I can enhance Commit Mothra. This attack is considered completely blocked during the block step. I don't even have to block it. I can just turn Mothra sideways and say I'm not taking damage unless it's a throw. Sorry. And the main reason I wanted to play this was Aerial Kikosho. So this is the Chun-Li attack from the Street Fighter 6 Challenger series. It's 6 difficulty, 4 high 7, Charge Fury. As a response in our hand, we drive 1, which is a cost. It is committing 1 foundation or spending 1 momentum. We get to add Aerial Kikosho to our card pool. After a completely blocked attack resolves, try to play this card from your hand, or from your card pool. It gets -2 speed, -2 difficulty, and +2 speed. So, rival attacks. We commit Mothra and say it's going to be completely blocked. When it resolves, we either spend our momentum or commit a foundation, put Aerial Kikosho into our card pool and say, hey, this is on a 4, because it's completely blocked, and I didn't have to block it. And after I completely blocked your attack, I also used Mothra to say the next attack's getting 3 speed. So this comes in as a 9 high 7. Now, a lot of people would say, cool, I'll just take the 7, that's fine, move on. Well, that's when you got cards like Cardboard Crusader. Once per turn, I can give any attack 3 speed or 3 damage. I'm already getting 5 speed, so I'm going to make that a 9 high 10 with Cardboard Crusaders. And then I also have cards like Sleepyhead, which say, if my rival has not lost health this turn, my attack gets 1 damage. If my character's committed, this attack gets 1 damage. So I committed my character to take no damage. And since you haven't taken any damage this turn, every copy of Sleepyhead is giving my attack plus 2 damage. So I can stack a lot of damage on Aerial Kokosho really quick and say, hey, now you have to dedicate resources to blocking this, or you're going to lose a huge chunk of your health. I also have cards like Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla to help with this. So after I block with a card, I can commit Mechagodzilla versus Godzilla to pick it back up, to pick the block back up. And also during my rival's attack, or during my Aerial Kokosho, I can use Don't Do This. I can discard a card to give Aerial Kokosho stun 1. So for each copy of this that I give up a card for, I can tap my rival out on their turn during my attack. I can also hack their checks with Fighting for Control. So you checked a 3 on your first attack on a 5. Cool. Now you checked a 1. You gotta commit 4 cards. Or you checked a 5 and on your 5 and I make it a 3, so you have to commit 2. And then I'm going to Aerial Kokosho, pitch for a bunch of Don't Do This, stun you out, and then you're just gonna take that damage. And that chip damage can come in handy when I play cards like Bloodsucking Universe, which is a throw, and Walk the Dog, which is a powerful 3 attack and gets lower difficulty the more committed foundations my rival has. Combine this with Military Airship so I can reuse Aerial Kokosho if I want to completely block again. And then I also added Scanlan's Hand, because I will never have a lower hand size than you, so I can use the card pool response to give +3 or -3 damage after a block is played on both of our turns to say, hey, your next attack's going to get -3 damage if I know I can't block it. Or, hey, you blocked my attack, my next attack is going to get +3 speed and +3 damage. That's a pretty good rate to put on something like a Walk the Dog or a Ride the Lightning, which can draw me 1 or 2 cards. Or like a Violent Animus Shot, which can then remove a random card from my rival's hand if it deals damage. And of course we have Protector of Life, which is an Omni block. Whatever it blocks is dealing no damage. It's Breaker 1, and I get a power token, which those power tokens can also be used to buff up the Aerial Kokosho. Lots of defense here with like Substitute Member, returning a card speed to 3. Mikasa defeats the female Titan, so I take no damage. Irreverent Attitude says after an attack is blocked, the next attack is +2 or -3 damage. So I can commit Mothra. Your attack's going to be completely blocked. Flip Irreverent Attitude. The next attack's going to get +2 damage and +3 speed because it's an Aerial Kokosho coming at you. Yeah, it's just a really cool interaction, and I've actually built this deck, and it is... when it's not checking 5 attacks in a row, it is devastatingly defensive to play against. It's really hard to break through Mothra's defense, and just can output huge tons of unblockable attacks if you're not prepared to deal with all of its stun. I think in the deck that I built, I also added... what's the military... It's a 2 difficulty, 2 low block, I think. This is enhanced commit. This attack is +1 damage and stun 1. It's like military reinforcements or something from Attack on Titan Battle for Humanity. And that's another thing to give Kokosho a little bit more damage and help stun you out on your turn even more. So I can completely turn your board sideways and say, you're taking this big chunk of damage and your turn's over. Sorry. And then on my turn, I can commit it and give stun 1 and another damage and stun whatever you've built and then keep going. So yeah, very, very dangerous deck. Yeah, I'd probably get... I think I got rid of the high guard and low guards for the 4... is that what I did? Yeah, I think I got rid of the high guards or at least the low guards for the military card. I cannot remember the name of it for the life of me, but it's like military. Yeah, we can just look at it. Military police presence. Enhanced commit. This attack gets stun 1 and gets +1 damage. So I put those in here for more damage, more stun. Don't do this gives stun, and I just completely tap your board down and say, hey, if I can't tap your board down to make sure all my stuff's hitting, whenever you block, the next thing's gonna get 3 damage anyway, or 3 speed anyway. So, plus Scanlan's Hand can help me commit defensive characters like Ghidorah, 3-headed monster, or cards like Moment of Normalcy, or any really solid speed hate. Scanlan's Hand can just help me tap that down, and then perpetually give me a bunch of damage boosts. So pretty fun. Plus, I like any deck that I can play Brace for Impact in, which returns everything to printed speed and zone when I try to block with it. Next, we have Mechagodzilla Kiryu. So, one of my locals has been trying so hard to get outside of his comfort zone and play anything that's not a 6-hand size aggro character. Because he played Paul Phoenix, he played Godzilla King of the Monsters, and he's like, I want to try something new. So he started playing Batra as a little bit more of a control style aggressive character. And I said, I think I have the perfect 5-hander for you. It's a 5-hander that's not a 5-hander. And that's Mechagodzilla Kiryu. He's a 5-hand size, 34 health character, giant and monster traits, with Earth, Good, and Order. As a static, you may discard 1 card from your hand, as though you were spending momentum each time you activate a EX or powerful ability. So if I would use like a powerful 3, and I have no momentum, I can just discard 1 card, I still get the powerful 3. And then response, after you play a card with a printed difficulty of 5 or greater, draw 1 card. So we want to play a bunch of 5 diffs, and we want to keep refilling our hand. The main 2 cards here are Earthbreaker, which is a 5 difficulty, 3 low for 5 with stun 2, which means we're going to draw a card when we play it, and then draw a card when we stun 2. And as a response in our card pool, Earthbreaker says after you draw 1 or more cards, your attack gets +1 damage. So I play Earthbreaker, my rival doesn't seal it, I draw a card from Mechagodzilla, I get a damage on Earthbreaker with Earthbreaker, I stun 2, I get another damage with Earthbreaker, because I'm going to draw... Oh, no. Never mind. Not with that. So, I got ahead of myself. But stun 2 is really cool. And then if it deals damage, I can destroy one of the cards that was committed during this attack. But this is mainly here to be our lead-off, so we can play Blasting Off. Because Blasting Off says, as a response, should be response card pool. After you play a keyword ability, draw 1 card. Or not response card pool, it's only during its own attack. So it's got EX2, Powerful 2, and Deadlock Stun 3. So we play it on a 6, draw a card with Kiryu, get a damage with Earthbreaker. Play the EX2, discarding a card, draw a card with Blasting Off, get a damage with Earthbreaker, pitch a card for Powerful, draw a card, get a damage with Earthbreaker, pitch a card with Don't Do This to gain Stun 1, activate Stun 1, draw a card, get a damage with Earthbreaker. And then we can also discard cards like Aaron's Trial, which says if it enters our discard pile during the enhanced step, our rival has to commit a foundation. And we basically just use these 2 cards. Like, we just lead with an Earthbreaker, and every time we draw cards, we are just getting more and more damage. And then we can use those cards for Don't Do This. We can use them for any of our EX or powerful abilities, like Blasting Off. Smashing Stomp has EX3. Armor of the Wolf has EX3 and Powerful 3. And once your rival's out of enhances they can play, Armor of the Wolf just gets huge. And then we have Hunter's Pursuit, which has EX2, and it says if we have 3 or more face-down foundations, our next attack is -2 difficulty, which really helps because we play on a 5, on a 6, and then on a 5 again, because Kiryu says a printed difficulty, we get to draw a card if we play a printed difficulty 5 or greater. Military Airship helps us recycle our attacks. City Rampage, even with the new errata of spending 1 momentum as a cost to play it, counts for Mechagodzilla Kiryu's draw, because it's not just attacks that trigger that, and we get a speed and damage. And then we play cards like Unyielding Force, Godzilla's First Emergence, which can, this can draw us a card, and Godzilla's First Emergence gets us a power token, and can just give all of our attacks free speed. History's Greatest Monster allows us to re-ready itself, to continue our strings. But yeah, mainly don't do this in Aaron's Trial, allowing us to pitch cards in our hand and totally push our rival's stage down is just really solid. I don't think there's many 5-handers that can really keep up right now, but I think Mechagodzilla Kiryu is one of them, and this is just a gnarly deck. I just got my blasting offs, and I think there was something else I was waiting on. Maybe not. I think the blasting offs were all I was waiting on, because I finally did get my 4 Earthbreakers for my Suzuki deck. But this dude is ready to rock. He does have 5 hand size problems at the start, but hopefully with all the different 5 diffs you can play, you can kind of sculpt your hand pretty easily. And I'd be really interested to I'm really interested to see where I can go with him. Oh, I was missing the Godzilla's First Emergence. That's what it was. Next we have Elder Toguro. So I had a dumb idea. And that dumb idea was, I want to play a character with both the evil and life symbols, and it was either Elder Toguro or Toga 4 in Standard. So Elder Toguro is a 7 hand size 20 health character, and my personal favorite Yu Yu Hakusho Dark Tournament character. He's got evil, death, and life, Team Toguro trait. As a form, once per turn, discard 1 non-foundation card, choose 1 attack in your discard pile, and try to play it as your next form. So I can turn any non-foundation in my hand into any attack in my discard pile. And then enhance, switch this attack's speed and damage. If it is your rival's turn, sacrifice a foundation. So defensively, I can swap your speed and damage around if you're pumping a bunch of speed. I can swap it to damage and then hopefully block it. If you're pumping a bunch of damage, I can swap it to speed and hopefully take less damage. Or, if I'm pumping speed or damage, I can swap my own stats around for free. So why did I want to play something that was both evil and life? Well, life gets Hunter's Ally, which as a blitz builds any ally from my discard pile, which could be backups, foundations, assets, whatever it is. And then Rebuilt Forces is on evil, which is kind of a reverse Hunter's Ally. It's a 5 low 5 instead of a 4 high 5. And as a blitz, I can build any backup with a printed difficulty of 3 or less from my discard pile. I then have to sacrifice that backup at the end of the turn, but my rival's next check this turn gets -1 for each backup in my stage. So basically, I play Hunter's Ally, I build in an ally backup, and then I play Rebuilt Forces, build in a backup, and just keep going and try to push an offensive threat with a backup style deck. And I thought, well, I also have life, so why not play Harness Undeath if we're going to be playing a lot of backups? So you can totally go Hunter's Ally, Rebuilt Forces into Harness Undeath, Echo Harness Undeath, and hopefully do a whole bunch of damage. Other attacks that I like are Jaw Titan's Bite, because if I discard like a backup to play Jaw Titan's Bite from my discard pile as Elder Toguro, I can then keep discarding cards to keep picking up copies of Jaw Titan's Bite from my discard pile. And sometimes if they don't have the high block, I can just be like, here's a 4, here's a 5, here's a 6, here's a 7. And just push damage through there. Superfly Stomp lets me pitch cards into my discard pile, mainly backups, whatever backups I'm looking to build, possibly, with the Hunter's Ally and the Rebuilt Forces. Dangerous Detainment is just some more damage. It's kind of fun. I sacrifice a backup and get damage equal to its stamina. But what's really cool is off of Evil with these, an ally backup that I do get access to is Cynthia Ultram, which just on my turn, I can commit it and my rival has to discard a card. So if you weren't prepared for this, and I build this out of my discard pile and just say, cool, enhance, get rid of a card in your hand. So now I'm going to hit you there, and then I'm going to rebuild forces to build in an Anyankopon, and then first enhance commit to make something not count towards progressive difficulty, or I'll build in a Sean Gilmore and say my next check gets +2. I can build in Titans Under Orders for defense, and then just unload with a Harness on Death. And on the death symbol, I have Death Rattle, which says after one of my backups is destroyed, my rival loses a health. So since I have to sacrifice a backup that I built at the end of the turn, that means it's going to trigger my Death Rattles. And for each Death Rattle I have, I sacrifice this one at the end of the turn, you could lose 2, 3, 4 health. So that's almost an entirely new attack that you're going to lose. And with cards like Nymph's Invitation and Consuming Their Own, I can utilize my backups offensively by either sacrificing them or giving up their stamina to get huge damage bonuses. Defensively, I can use Loyalty of a Friend, Resting Up, Fast Friendship to reduce speed, and then swap that your speed and damage. I can reduce your damage with Titans Under Orders and then switch it to speed so I can easily block something. And I can use Wipe Out All Humans, which can give all of my attacks +2 damage and give your next check -2. So combine this with the rebuilt forces, I can say, hey, you're just gonna take this damage. Because it just says your next check, so you will have to fail a check. Like if I play Wipe Out All Humans, and then Hunter's Ally in for a Cynthia, and then rebuilt forces in for another backup, and I have 4 backups, this means your next check gets -6 if you didn't block anything. So that means you have to try to fail a check. You know, you have to at least attempt and then fail it to get that -6, or that -6 is just going to float. You have to spend that -2 to block the first attack, even if it's not very, like, dangerous. So, could be pretty cool. And then, if I have 2 Wipe Out All Humans, I play the one as a first form, pitch the second one for whatever attack I want to play out of my discard pile. I love Elder Toguro. I played him at Nationals a few years ago. And I don't remember if I played the backup. I don't think I played the backup version of him then. I played a Foundation Control version because I needed to get my my rock barrages for while I was at Nationals. But yeah, I think he's a really cool Death Rattle character. And this is just a fun, interesting, like, I hope in Tekken we see more Evil Life characters. I really want to see one that's Evil Life Void, because then I can play the Mechazoids and use them to commit my rival's stage, and then when they're sacrificed, I can draw and discard a card. So I really want to see an Evil Life Void character, UVS Games, if you're listening. Thank you, please. That would be really cool if I could play all of these cards at once before they rotate. And then lastly, we have Fresh Cut Grass. So this dude was on my mind because he's hella hard to kill. He's a 5 hand size, 39 health character with Bell's Hells and Healer traits with good life and water symbols. So he's really interesting. He has an enhance once per turn. The cost is I have to give my rival a compliment. And in return for that, I get to ready one of their foundations, and then I get to ready 2 of mine. This is mainly used to ready cards like Moment of Normalcy on defense, which is really good, being able to use that twice. And then using cards like I Can Taste Sounds on my turn, which let me discard a card and then draw a card whenever it's readied. I also have a response commit. After a rival's unblocked attack resolves, I get to add 1 action or spell card from my discard pile to my hand. I will say the only spell in the deck is Rejuvenating Prayer, and it's mainly here for the first enhance. If my attack is blocked, I gain a health. just to make that 39 health last even longer. But the action I run is Protector of Life. So I'll take a full hit to the face, pick up a Protector of Life. You try to attack me again, I'm going to block it, breaker you, take no damage, and get a power token. And with this power token, I can use cards like Destructive Heat Ray. I get to add 2 power tokens to my stage, and then flip a rival foundation with difficulty less than the number of power tokens I have. I can also use Fully Charged Blast to sacrifice 2 foundations and get 3 power tokens. So this deck's all about kind of building these power tokens and kind of go nuclear with Fresh Cut Grass, readying up my stage to extend my strings. I also have cards like History's Greatest Monster. I've got My Fighting Style, which, as a Tenacious response, after one of your foundations is readied, I get to commit and freeze it. So I can say, hey, go ahead and ready that Moment of Normalcy for me. Oh, and now we're going to commit and freeze it, so you don't get access to it no matter what. Really powerful here. But I also liked the combination of Sword Get Longer, which as a good enhance, I am a good character. I can build the top X cards in my deck face down committed. X equals 8 minus my hand size, which is 5. So I play this, I get 3 face down committed foundations. I can then use cards like Falling Heel Strike and Fallen Angel's Revenge to unflip these cards. So if I've built in a Moment of Normalcy face down, I can unflip it. If I built in a Hungry for Pizza, I can unflip it. Or History's Greatest Monster, I can unflip it. Or if I built in a Massive Mutant Machine, I can unflip it. But Sword Get Longer is not the only way I can build things face down. I can also do it with Cabin Hideout. I told you I was interested in this card. So I'm kind of doing my best Pumat Soul impression. But I get to ready cards in my stage, offensively and defensively. And this can just help me. I can build in the Massive Mutant Machine and then unflip it. I can build in Hard to Kill, which says if I take damage, I can gain health as an Outwit. Outwit is a trigger that says I have to unflip this card and then commit it to activate its ability. So I take damage, I unflip it, commit it, gain 2 health, and then I can use Fresh Cut Grass to pick up Protector of Life. I've got Item Box, which is kind of Moment of Normalcy on steroids. Cease and Ho allows me to pick up face-down attacks that I build in, and then the next foundation I play gets built automatically. So I play Cease and Ho, I pick up a Falling Heel Strike, I use Cabin Hideout to build Massive Mutant Machine face-down, play a foundation, build it automatically, play Falling Heel Strike, unflip the Massive Mutant Machine for 2 speed on Falling Heel Strike, and just go to town. It's really... It was slow. I will say I did not follow... I think I followed this to the letter, this build. But I then had to change it because I didn't have a lot of ways to put foundations face down outside of Sword Get Longer and Cabin Hideout. So if I didn't see those, it was hard for me to get face downs in order to use cards like the High Spirit Awareness to pick up face down cards or to reflip Hard to Kill. So I added 3 copies of Beneath the Armor so I can flip foundations for minus damage and take that hit from with Fresh Cut Grass and then pick up Protector of Life. I can sacrifice them with Weapons Clash to take less damage if need be. And it kind of, it flows a little bit better. I've got the one Hiding Out, which I can commit and unflip a foundation. Commit and flip Hiding Out to unflip a foundation as a first enhance. And then I can Falling Heel Strike or Fallen Angel's Revenge to unflip it so that on the next turn, when it's readied, I can do the same thing again. It's kind of fun. It's a neat one-of. But yeah, I just like the idea of having to constantly pay my rival compliments. Hopefully that would keep me in a good mood throughout the tournament, and I won't get too tilted or else I might say something incredibly backhanded. Which luckily when I tested it out, I did not get very grumpy. So even though it was a very long match because neither of us could kill each other, I was still able to stay peppy and pay some proper tribute and compliments to my rival. But yeah, a little bit of a longer video today, a little bit unfocused-ish, but I've been doing a lot of like creative deck building with some of these kind of off-the-wall characters. I've also got a Beckett Mariner that I'm kicking around, the Adventurous Archaeologist or whatever, the one that can unflip cards in your stage. She's another cabin hideout character that can unflip Massive Mutant Machine. But I'm still working on her and still working on what I want to do with that one. But yeah, with everything being mostly LCs, with Titan of Terror and Anguirus, or the regional this weekend, I kind of wanted to just show off some kind of fun stuff. You know, could be competitive, could just be fun locals decks that I've been toying around with, and just kind of give a lighter side of competitive UVS. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Did I remember to put the deck links in the description below? If so, good job, future me. If not, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think of these decks, and tell me what you've been playing that's been kind of off the wall or fun to kind of wind down from the more aggressive, sweaty metas. And if you have made it this far, please consider subscribing if you have not yet subscribed. It would really help the channel out a lot, and I would greatly appreciate it. So until next time, take care, everyone.